Hey, you guys, are you ready? This is Faye Renee. Get ready for Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, Episode 3, Stick and Move. Now, y'all know it's going to be wild. Let's do it. Stick and move. Okay, you guys, since last week, the streets have cooled down since now they got blood for blood. You know, D-Wiz for $1.50. And you know, the power writers are a trip. They love to make prophetic titles, as most people do, but theirs are like down to the T. So this week's title, Stick and Move, let me tell you what that's all about. First off, stick and move in most people's mind is more akin to boxing. That's where the phrase is generally from. It's used in a lot of other realms, but stick and move in boxing is what the average person thinks of when they think of the term stick and move. So check this out. Show opens up. Rock's top corner boy, Scrappy, and his crew is out there on their corners, and he's telling them, keep it moving, keep it moving. And I mean, they selling this dope so fast, all they little regulars running by, some of them crazy, and some of them look like regular people. And they paying and paying and picking up and paying and paying. And he's like, keep it moving, almost like stick and move. And all of a sudden, here comes Detective Howard and a whole bunch of cops, and they try to make a major bust. So they start chasing all the dudes everywhere. Everybody runs, 5050, and Scrappy is running with Detective Howard's fast on his heels. But Detective Howard was too slow, and Scrappy was too fast, and he got away and was bragging all about it later with Canaan. Like 50 Cent says in the monologue, the street game is not for old heads. I'm learning all these terms. It's a young man's game, and you got to be as fast as your feet as you are in your mind. You got to be quick. So anyway, as I said, everyone in the show, the main players, have generally reconciled the fact that D-Wiz is gone and we can't bring him back. Canaan is naturally sad. One morning, Rock takes him to school, and she said, look, she said, you're not a target anymore. Don't make yourself a target. Deal with it and go forward. That's all we can do. And remember D-Wiz. But the head distro, that's the distributor. The head distro is somebody named Zumba Dean. Zumba Dean puts the word out on the street. I want to meet with Mama Rock. Mama Rock need to come see me because I don't like the bullshit that's been going on. So Mama Rock goes over there and she meets him at this little old folks bingo hall. And he's sitting up there. He's cool as hell. He's laid back. To me, he reminds me of an original ghost before our ghost. When she sits down at the table, she's cool too. And he said, I don't like this bullshit going on, and I'm not going to get between you and the beef when you meet. He said, besides, I'm the distro for the whole Jamaica Queens area. I supply Unique and you. So squash this shit, do your work, or we're going to revisit our original agreement. So Mama Rock gets the cue. That means, you know, your ass is out one way or another if you don't get this stuff together. And remember, y'all, this story is about Canaan. Well, there would be no Canaan as we know him without Mama Rock. Mama Rock is central to who Canaan is. I told y'all, apple tree, apple tree, apple tree. Okay. Mama Rock is cold, super cold-blooded. And that's why we got to know the Canaan that we knew. He could not have just come there on his own. His actions he was accountable for, but baby, he learned them from this chick. Let me tell you what Mama Rock did after that. So as Mama Rock is being escorted out of this meeting with Zumba Dean by one of his head guys that she knows, she whispers in his ear a little bit and say, you want to make some money on the side? She is cold-blooded. She makes a deal with him to get info on Unique's next re-up. That's when he next picks up his next distribution from Zumba Dean. Damn, she don't play. Every time she make a move like this, I know that's why Canaan is Canaan. Mama Rock is central. I don't think she gonna last the series. Woo! She going to jail or she gonna die because she definitely lives by the sword. Okay, next. Meanwhile, good old Detective Howard has a big doctor's appointment. He finds out that he has acute leukemia and he needs a bone marrow transplant. And she said, you better start asking your relatives. He said, my mama and my papa dead and my relatives are all in another town and we distance. He said, we fell out. She said, well, you need to talk to them. He said, they don't like my ass. So he walks out. He got a lot of personal problems besides the street problems. Now, Earlier that day, his captain called him in and his little protege partner said, what is all this shit on the street? We got 2 dead boys, and basically they were basketball players, and they might have sold a little drugs, but this ain't shit. Y'all making us look bad. We ain't got nobody responsible for the deaths. He said, I want something big. I want big cases, big drug dealers bought down, and big cashes of money. So they got their marching orders, and they back out to the street. Guess what? Detective Howard gets a call from who? Mama Rock. Mama Rock says, hey, meet me by the shore. He goes out there to meet her, and she's so ghetto. She is. Mama Rock is very ghetto. And she's, okay, Mama Rock is super ghetto. She meets with Detective Howard, and she right away says, how's your dick tasting? Okay, I'm sorry. And Detective Howard says, better than yours. And she said, well, look, I got some info for you. I got some juicy info you're going to want. She said, all these uniques meet so far down your throat that you ain't going to talk to me no more. And he like, hey, what you got? She gives up Unique. This is a cold chick. She killing off her competitor. She telling the cops where and when to find Unique so he can take him down and arrest him and get all the drugs and get all the glory so she can eliminate her competition. She is super cold. That's Mama Rock. This is perfecto mundo for Detective Howard. He couldn't have asked for a better deal. Next in Jukebox Land, well, Juki and Nicole, her new girlfriend, go to the shopping mall. And they're having a fun day, fun little day date. And they see a singing shop where you record on a VCR. Y'all remember the big-ass 90s VCR tapes? Well, they go in there to make a tape. And it's real cute. They're like, oh, we're going to keep this forever. And then all of a sudden, Jukebox Face became Street Jukebox. She said, I got to go. Jukebox said, I got to go and meet my crew. Because Jukebox hang with this little crew that steals designer goods off trucks. Y'all know how they go down in the city. You know, y'all see the people selling you that stuff. You wonder where they got it from, straight off the truck. So they go and pull a job like that, and it don't go so well. But she does get away. All right, next thing. All right. Meanwhile, Goofy Brother Marvin goes back to visit that chick, the white girl at the club. And he brings her a brand new, big, scruffy, monster black dog, good-looking dog. And she says, you really like me. Why are you giving me a dog? He said, because I guess I like you. He said, and this will take the place of your microwave dog. Y'all remember Bella, the microwave dog? Anyway, he gives her the dog, and she gives him something else. She goes down on her knees, and that's all she wrote for that. So he's gone now. He's like in La La Land. Okay, now. Next thing happened. Back at the stash house, Scrappy there playing a video game with Kanan. Boom, 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 boom. And Kanan is slick, but he's still naive. He says, Scrappy, what's the word on the street about D-Wiz? Why they murder him? Here goes Scrappy. Well, the word I heard was that D-Wiz had beef with Buck 50 over some chick. And so D-Wiz took Buck 50 out. And then Buck 50 people came and took D-Wiz out. That's how it was. What you hear? Kanan wasn't going to be caught off guard. Kanan said, I heard the same thing. He left it at that. Just then, bingo, bango. Outside on the street, here comes Davina, pushing a little baby cart. And she has like a drill or a tool from her father's garage. Because they like dirt poor. And she's going to sell this. And that just really gets to Kanan. He like, hi, what's happening? And then she questions him again. She said for the last time, did you know that D-Wiz and Buck 50 had beef? He said, well, I heard a lot of stuff and I didn't believe this shit was true. I heard the same thing you heard. And so she left it alone. Okay. Now, later on, Jukebox tries to pay Kanan a visit, but he's not there. And she sits down with Mama Rock and they have a really gentle moment. You see Rock in a super maternal light. You also found out she had Kanan when she was 15 because I knew she was playing 30-31. So that's why she dealt with the college dude. If you think about it, Sympathy's 20-something and she's 30-something, so they perfect. Perfect. She really laid some knowledge on this little girl. She said, you smiling like you got somebody you love, you in love. And Jukebox acknowledged it. She said, I'm smiling too. She said, every now and then, we need to be happy. We need to be smiling. It's all good, Jukebox. And I thought that was really sweet. She's like a mother to Jukebox, and I think that's great. So that was one good thing about Mama Rock. She still got a soul. All right now. Meanwhile, Kanan visits Jukebox home at the same time Jukebox went to his home, so they missed each other. And Kanan runs into her father, Uncle Marvin, Goofy. And Kanan says, I'm tired of being babysat. I want to work. I'll keep your secrets. I'll help you with Mama Rock. He said, all right, I'm going to make you a real corner boy. You really getting into the game. And so Kanan is so damn excited. It's like Christmas. And he gives Kanan his first little stash of dope to sell. Tell him how to sell it. Tell him how to make a profit. Tell him what to bring back to him, etc., etc. And Kanan is elated. So he runs out. He meets up with Famous, his friend, the rapper, and Jukebox, and they all go to the park. Jukebox going to sell her stuff she stole off the truck, and Kanan is going to sell his dope for the first time, and he really don't know what to do. Jukebox tried to advise him, and it's almost cute if it wasn't drugs. And he's standing out there, and so he think he gonna sell to white people. First thing you know, white boy come up, what you got, and he's just like overblown, and they buying the shit left and right, and Kanan is amazed and feeling good. And then 50 Cent monologue come on. It's really sad, but it's true. It's true. 50 Cent comes on with a monologue and said, you're out there on the street for the first time, and people that don't want to have shit to do with you in your everyday life coming up to you, and boom, you got the money, they got the product. He said, and I ain't gonna lie, that first time it feels good, real good. And this dude that played young Kanan, he looked exactly the way 50 Cent described it. And I felt sorry for him, because you understand the draw of the street for boys like that just don't have a better life, or they brought into the life by mothers like Mama Rock, or fathers, okay, like Mama Rock. It's just not right, because anyway, I'm not going to preach. Back to the story. So here's one good thing. After Kanan got his first big money, he was elated. You know what he did? He was a sweetheart. Kanan showed up at Davina's house. She came outside, and he had a bag of groceries. I told you her family was dirt poor and had milk and everything. And guess what? Kanan and Davina kissed, their first kiss. So Kanan might get his girl after all. You know, he been wanting Davina since episode 1. Okay, I want to cover Uncle Lulu before we go. That same evening, Lulu went back to one of his favorite customers, Bulletproof Records, and he dropped off some stuff, and he got the money, but he was looking around the studio. He's really excited because he loves music in the studio. And his girlfriend, Jessica, is the sister to Famous, Kanan's little goofy rapping friend. She can see that. So when they get outside, she said, I see more in you than this street stuff. She gets all in his head and his ear. And she's telling him, you know a lot about music. Your dad raised you around music. I know you want to be doing this more than this. You can do this. You are more than this street game. But you know what? I don't think it's going to end well for her if Mama Rock finds out she whispering, you know, visions of gold of another life in her right-hand man, Brother Lulu's ear. Okay, meanwhile, Detective Howard is all in place with 1,000 cops in undercover, well hidden, watching the whole distribution game go down with Unique and the Distro Boys. And they exchange the money and the dope. And just when they're about to pull off, somebody spots one of the white vans that was with Detective Howard and yells, 50, 50. So everybody scatters, cars are screaming, everybody's racing and chasing and chasing. And one of the police cars T-bones one of the dealer's cars. And they jump out with guns drawn. Detective Howard's like, get out the car. And they get up close. And all they show you is they said, oh, call a bus. That means the people probably dead because they lowered their guns. So I don't know who died or who got hurt. But all that's going to come out in episode 4. But I mean, Rock don't mind bloodying up the streets. So Rock really messed up Unique's current game. She didn't want to be teetering like this with the distro. So now they on equal footing. Both their corners are blank and blank. And they pissed off. So when it goes off, it's really cool. 2 cars pass each other. Both drivers look at each other just growling. One has Unique behind the wheel and the other has Rock people, her 2 brothers, Lulu and Marvin, and they both snarling at each other. So next week got to be some kind of showdown. It's going to be big. That's going to be episode 4. And in the end, 50 Cent says the street game is just like the fighting game. You got to stick and move. Stick and move. That's it. That's all. Power, power, power. I love you. Next week, same time, same station. This is Fairy Nate. See ya.